Hello! Welcome to the secret journey of waste. Where does the stuff you throw away actually go? Let's follow it together.
Ever wonder what happens after you've finished eating at a buffet? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden life of waste. We'll start with just one plate of food and follow its journey all the way up to a global scale. Let's dive in. Come on, we've all been there, right? You're faced with this spread that seems almost endless. It's a total feast for the eyes. But behind all this beautiful abundance, there's a hidden story. When we all walk away, what really happens to everything that's left behind? So let's start our investigation right there, at the buffet. By putting the leftovers under a microscope, we can start to uncover some pretty surprising truths about the food we see, but never actually get around to eating. Just look at what's actually being thrown away. Over a quarter of it is red meat, and right behind that is dairy. Now, think about that for a second. These aren't just the most expensive items on the table, they also take the most water, land, and energy to produce. So when we waste this food, we're literally throwing away a whole chain of resources right along with it. And you know what? The problem starts way before the food ever even reaches the buffet line. Back in the kitchen, the butcher department alone is responsible for almost a third of the waste. We're talking about scraps from trimming, from prep, and sometimes from just plain ordering way too much stuff. So what's the right way to handle all this excess? Well, there's actually a really clear hierarchy of best practices. First, you try to reuse it. If you can't do that, you donate it. After that, maybe it becomes animal feed or compost. Notice what's at the very, very bottom, the absolute last resort, the landfill. Now keep this pyramid in mind because we're about to see just how far from this ideal we really are. Okay, now let's zoom out. I want you to take that waste from that one single buffet and multiply it by every restaurant, every grocery store, every single home, every single day. The cost, it's not just big, it is staggering. Get ready for this number. Up to 10% of all global greenhouse gas emissions come from food that's never even eaten. To put that into perspective, if food waste were its own country, it would be the third largest emitter in the entire world, right behind the US and China. Just wow. And if we follow the money, the number is just as breathtaking. $1 trillion. That's the value of food that gets lost or thrown away every single year. It's this massive drain on the global economy, all for food that never nourishes a single person. But here's the thing, this pattern of waste, it goes so far beyond just food. It's actually a symptom of a much, much larger problem in how we use and misuse our planet's most critical resources. Let's think about that piece of red meat from the buffet again. Before it was wasted, huge amounts of water were used to raise the animal, and a ton of energy was used to process and transport the meat. So when we throw it away, we waste all of that too. And the scale is just immense. Agriculture alone uses nearly 70% of our planet's fresh water, and all of that requires energy. See? It's all connected. And here's the bottom line. Energy consumption is responsible for nearly half of all greenhouse gas emissions. That means every single time we waste food or water or really any product, we are also wasting energy and directly fueling climate change. In this system, efficiency isn't just some buzzword, it's absolutely everything. So this really brings us to the system itself. For centuries, we've been running on what's called a linear economy. We take resources, we make something, and then we create waste. It's simple, but it's also incredibly destructive. The alternative is a circular economy, a system designed from the very start to eliminate waste, to keep materials in use, and, to help regenerate our natural world. So how do we actually make this shift? Well, this is the hopeful part of the story. Moving from a linear to a circular model isn't just a theory anymore. Innovators and even entire communities are already making it a reality. Let's bring this right back to our buffet. A circular approach here is actually simple and totally logical. It all starts with smarter planning to prevent waste in the first place. Then it's about optimizing how you process and serve the food. For anything that's left, you prioritize donation, and then you convert the rest into valuable compost. Remember that hierarchy from earlier? In this model, the landfill doesn't even make the chart. And this isn't just for a single kitchen. It can work on a massive scale. Take Swatch in India, for example. It's a cooperative of waste pickers who created their own decentralized system. Every day, they collect over 850 tons of waste. But instead of just dumping it, they recycle and compost hundreds of tons of it, saving the city money and turning what we call waste into a really valuable resource. This kind of circular thinking is also leading to some absolutely incredible innovations. And some of the best ideas are coming from the oldest designer on the planet, nature itself. For a perfect example, just look at the Eastgate Center in Zimbabwe. The architects were inspired by termite mounds, which have this incredible natural ability to stay cool even in scorching heat. So they copied that ventilation system to design a massive office building that uses practically no air conditioning. And the results are just astounding. The building uses less than 10% of the energy of a typical skyscraper its size. This is a perfect win-win. It's great for the planet, and it's great for the wallet. In fact, the tenants actually pay 20% less in rent because of all those energy savings. This thinking is even transforming high-tech manufacturing. There's a solar panel company called Solitech that runs its factory on renewable energy, recycles its own waste, and is designing its panels to be easily reused at the end of their life. They've truly closed the loop, creating what's called a cradle-to-cradle system. But for all this incredible technology and all this brilliant design, a circular economy doesn't run on its own. Nope, it runs on people. Let's go all the way back to that hotel kitchen for a second. The single most effective tool for cutting down waste wasn't some fancy new gadget. It was simply creating awareness among the staff. Because when people understand the why behind the problem, they become the most powerful part of the solution. And that really brings us to our final thought. We started this whole journey with a simple buffet, but by following that one thread, we uncovered a global system of waste and an inspiring new model for how we can live. The principles are the same, whether you're designing a menu or a metropolis. So the real question is, what will you redesign?